commentary team there now at BBC Radio Manchester.
I don't think there was an awful lot in it, if I'm being completely honest. I think the goalkeeper, Watmouth, doing the right thing though in the moment. If you do feel contact, go down, receive treatment if necessary. Also takes the sting out of the game. Your team are winning 1-0. Gives yourself a moment for the likes of Jim McNulty to get information on players to rehydrate. But I didn't see an awful lot of contact there. But such is the player. Danny Whitehall, big number 9 for Scunthorpe. He's difficult to handle and he's horrible to play against. And that is the biggest strength of Scunthorpe, if I'm being completely honest.
10 minutes gone here, breaking play. Watmouth looks okay. He's just made his way back to his feet. 10 minutes into this one, Jim McNulty would surely have taken this start.
Yeah, definitely so. I think the start has brought some energy to the place and, like I said, dissipated some of that negative feeling around it. I think Moss and Hannah have got the bit between their teeth down on this Rochdale left-hand side as well, understanding how to get in behind Scunthorpe. Some nice interchange of movements we've seen in the first 10 minutes or so, and I expect that to continue. The bravery of Rochdale to play out from the back has been fantastic.
The winner of this one will take on Boreham Wood at Wembley next Sunday. They've beaten Carlisle United by 2-1 after extra time to reach the final. 90 minutes separates them and either Rochdale or Scunthorpe from the Football League. Rochdale with a 1-goal advantage after 11.5 minutes of this one. BBC Radio Manchester, Scunthorpe with the possession. Diagonal ball out towards the left once again. Adebayo rolling does well just to flick the header back down the line. Rodney leaves it back off to him as he looks to Disarui on the halfway line. Just too much on it as it floats over the head of the Dale goal scorer towards the edge of the penalty area where Jones can collect for Scunthorpe and try get them back on the front foot. This time they try to play it down the centre of the field. It's a marauding run forward from Roberts, edge of the area, drills it left-footed straight down the centre of the goal. Watmouth, straight forward for him, drops on top of it. First effort on target in this one for Scunthorpe United comes to nothing. It remains Rochdale 1, Scunthorpe 0.
Yeah, nice little interchange of play between Roberts in there and his front man. Gets the wrong side of the Rochdale midfield and is able to drive at the back three, which Rochdale didn't deal with very comfortably at all. You cannot let Callum Roberts have too many sights of your goal because it's a matter of time before he scores one of them.
Nice bit of interchange play between Watmouth and the defence. Sees Rochdale break up the right hand side. As Rodney, who was bundled to the floor as he tried to make inroads. Free kick goes away off Dale. Just to the right of the centre circle inside the Scunthorpe United half of the field. An opportunity here for Dale to get the ball along towards the edge of the penalty area. And any real rush to take it as he just assess their options. Rodney gives the back of his calf a little bit of a rub as he gets back onto his 2 feet. Socks around the ankles from Devante Rodney as he just readjusts them before he trots up towards the penalty area. And it is going to be Ryan East left-footed to whip this one, or maybe float this one towards the 18-yard box. Bright orange boot of his just clips it towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. Headed across goal by Ebanks Landell. Scuffed clear by Scunthorpe United, runs over the byline. Will be a corner kick to Rochdale. Opportunity for them to create something else in front of goal here.
Yeah, that early goal that Rochdale have scored has definitely put Scunthorpe defenders on notice. They look a little bit nervy. Rushed a few clearances, haven't tracked runners as tightly as they want to, and is an opportunity in these next 10 minutes or so for Rochdale to really put the nail into Scunthorpe here and give themselves a 2-goal cushion.
Bournemouth lead Crystal Palace 2-0 in the Premier League here at Spotland. Rochdale 1, Scunthorpe United 0. Corner Rochdale taken towards the near post, headed clear, will be a throw-in to Dale. Around 10 yards away from where the corner was taken on the left-hand side of their attack. Cannon has the ball in hand. He's just going to leave it.
Yeah, they're trying to slow the game down a little bit, Rochdale. As the game starts to get a bit stretched, you're going to see the technical ability of this Rochdale team take centre stage as they start trying to open up passing lanes. They just need to make sure they don't get caught trying to play out too much from the back, because Scunthorpe will set traps.
I'm going to say they're very confident, aren't they, playing from the back? And we've seen on a couple of occasions Watmuff just clip the ball over the top of 4 in Scunthorpe colours to get Rochdale on the front foot, but it does come with some element of risk, doesn't it?
It definitely does. It's modern football at the moment. It's how it's being played, where you take all the risks in your own sort of half and then none in the opponent's. But Rochdale have got a good balance of it at the moment, as we mentioned. What I've always wanted to see from this team in development under Jim McNulty is the fact that they're willing to penetrate and go in behind teams when it's applicable, when the option's there. And the first goal comes from exactly that. When the opportunity opened up itself to be able to play in behind them, they didn't turn down that passing opportunity, and there'll be plenty more of those times as this game continues.
The Scunthorpe fans opposite is just maybe started to grow a little bit frustrated then as Rochdale were in the possession. Just a lack of pressure from the Iron. However, Watmuff went long over the top and couldn't find Desirue, so Scunthorpe have the possession back. On the right of their defence, the drill ball downfield is easily read by Perry, puts his foot on it before just turning it back towards Watmuff again. Rochdale being very patient all afternoon as Jim McNulty marches out of his technical area towards the right of the dugout. Cap on, arms folded, cuts a very calm figure on the sidelines, doesn't it? Maybe a bit calmer than his opposite number, Andy Butler, who's just barking out a few instructions to his side as he forces the ball back towards Watmuff on the edge of his own D once more. Puts his studs on the ball, rolls it out before playing it square towards Ebanks Landell. Those two just exchange a couple of passes together. But very calm and confident as Landell plays it up towards the halfway line towards Hannon. First time ball back in field towards Gilmore, can get Rochdale on the move down the right hand side. Adebayo Rowling takes control of things. East further infield collects, turns it back out wide towards the right back. It's Gordon who plays it back down the line. Gordon once again has a pass returned to him. Adebayo Rowling was bundled off the ball there. Very clumsy challenge from Denton, the Scunthorpe United fullback. Free kick will go the way of Rochdale, and again it's another good opportunity out of nothing really for them to get the ball in towards a melting pot.
Yeah, and we talked about the importance of the wide players in this Rochdale side. Scunthorpe don't like to be stretched. The defenders don't want to be defending that far out towards the widths of the pitch, and Adebayo, Roland, Hannon are going to have a big part to play in everything that goes on in this game, because you can sense that is Scunthorpe's weakness out wide.
17 minutes on the clock. BBC Radio Manchester, Rochdale 1, Scunthorpe United 0 in the National League playoff semi-finals. Free kick to Dale, right hand side. Couple of options standing over it. Looks as though it's going to be East, who in the end leaves it for Hannon to flick across the penalty area at the far post. Perry went to win the header, was bundled to the ground. Referee says nothing doing. Gilmore can collect by the corner flag. Ball back in towards the mixer. Volleyed away by Scunthorpe United again. Will be a throw into Rochdale. Every time they get the ball into the middle, you've got a feeling that it's only maybe one touch away from finding the back of the net.
Such a strange phenomenon as well, because we talk about how physical and how good Scunthorpe are in the air and aerially, but when the ball comes in their box, there is a feeling, as you mentioned, that Rochdale might get the first contact and get a goal from it.
As Watmuff this time tries to play it out from the back, clatters off Whitehall into the path of Roberts, edge of the area. Rochdale was stretched, Scunthorpe have the possession. Rochdale scramble back, Whitehall lays it into the path of Rowley, out towards the left where Denton can't find Jones. Rochdale come away with it. Rodney up towards the halfway line, gallops forward, plays it out towards the right hand side, clattered into by Horton. Free kick goes away of Dale. The referee has got the yellow card out of his pocket to show to Brendan Horton. Good play that from Devante Rodney, because it looks as though he overran the ball there, but just managed to flick it round the side of Horton. Waited for the contact, got the free kick, and now Horton will be treading on thin ice for the rest of this one.
Yeah, really, really good play. I think it's so important in this Rochdale team, this system, when you do retain the ball. When you do regain the balls, rather, you need to retain it, and that's exactly what Rodney did there. When he got the ball back, took a stride into midfield, drawing out Scunthorpe players. Did overhit it just a little bit, but he got the final touch that drew out the Scunthorpe player to get that yellow card, and it will prove an important booking in this time, I'm certain.
East to take the free kick, just shy of halfway for Rochdale. left-footed, clips it downfield towards the edge of the penalty area. Desiree manages to get contact on it, but can only flick it towards a corner flag. It's not going to run out of play. Only half cleared by Scunthorpe, collected by Hannon. Left-footed, drills it across the penalty area. Nodded away once more by the Iron defence. Collected by Jones, in line with his own penalty area. Looks for the 1-2 with Rowley. Instead, the centre midfield player just opts to slow things down, plays it back towards Denton, who goes long up and over the halfway line. But again, it's easy enough to deal with the Rochdale defence. Watmouth has possession on the edge of his own penalty area. They've not really asked too many questions in the opening 20 minutes, Scunthorpe United.
They haven't, and this is the key part of football. When the other team don't really know how to break you down or are struggling to get through your lines, you need to punish them and try and put the game out of sight as quickly as possible while you have this opportunity. You can guarantee that once the manager gets hold of this Scunthorpe team at half-time, they're never going to come out as bad as this in the second half. So Rochdale need to increase on this goal tally at this point while Scunthorpe are struggling.
Ball played up and over halfway, nodded back downfield by Adebayo Rowling. A bit of confusion in the Scunthorpe United defence. Sees the goalkeeper Jones eventually rush out of his penalty area to right-footed, volley it high over the halfway line, but only falls on the boot of East. Does well to bring it under control, assesses his options, looks right then left before playing it back towards Gordon. He lends the ball back towards East, who this time squares it across towards Perry, who's got space to work with up the left-hand side. From the left centre-back position, drives towards the edge of the penalty area, plays it in field towards Gilmore. Touch gets away from him, just collides with Evans. Free kick this time goes away of Scunthorpe United. It is Gilmore who's left in a heap on the floor though, looks in a bit of discomfort there. Looks like a soft free kick from where we were watching. It was just a coming together after the ball had gone between two players, but a bit of respite for Scunthorpe, and again it just gives them the chance to play this one long over the halfway line. See Whitehall the target, the towering number 9. He's got Ebanks Landell up against him. Whitehall with the long hair tucked behind the ears with the headband, and that is where the ball is aimed at, down the left hand side. Rises highest to win the header, but again can't get the correct amount of direction on it. Appeals half-heartedly for a corner, but runs over the byline for a goal kick to Dale. This is where the experience of players like Ebanks Landell come into play, isn't it? Because he's been there, he's done it before, and he's showing his class so far in this one.
Yeah, it's game management now. Obviously, we talked about them being composed on the ball, but they also need to not take too many risks in their own third and encourage Scunthorpe on, because as we mentioned, they're really struggling to work out how to play against Rochdale at the moment. But there are moments in football matches, and if you misplace a few passes and the Scunthorpe team start to feel like there's a level of vulnerability about your team, they'll certainly come after you and take their opportunities. So Rochdale need to be composed, but they also need to keep that danger and that element of being able to hurt Scunthorpe at the other end.
Coming up to 23 minutes played. Rochdale 1, Scunthorpe United 0 on BBC Radio Manchester. You listen to Total Sport. This is the start of the playoffs on Total Sport. We've got a busy couple of weeks, we hope, for you. Continues next weekend. 3 o'clock, Stockport County will go to Stevenage. 8 o'clock, Bolton host Bradford City. That's in League 1. In League 2 on Sunday, Salford City go to Grimsby. All of those first leg ties in the semi-final in the Football League. That's where Rochdale want to get to, and they're looking for a second goal here to try secure that. Down the left-hand side it goes with Moss. Plays it back in field towards Gilmore, edge of the penalty area, left of centre. Back out towards the wing on this near side as Rochdale attack from right to left. East comes across to try and get involved. There's a bit of a shove in the back there, and Haddon as he collects, but manages to feed it in towards Gilmore. Left-hand side, squares it across the 6-yard area. Desiree was lurking again, this time beaten to it, but Rochdale almost win the possession back. Runs out for a throw-in on this near side, but that was brilliant play once again to set Gilmore into the penalty area. This time the final ball was lacking, and it remains 1-0 Rochdale.
Yeah, it's a really good play down on this close side here. Left-hand side of Rochdale, showing how creative it is once again, getting into the box. Gilmore breaking onto it, just couldn't find the final pass. But as we keep mentioning, these are the half opportunities that Rochdale need to be turning into goal scoring opportunities at least.
Gordon down the right hand side. Romney tries to get onto the end of it, far too much on it as it runs through towards Jones. The Rochdale supporters felt that Rodney had his shirt tugged there I think even if he didn't, he wouldn't have got on the end of that ball, and Scunthorpe have it back in the heart of their own defence. Once again, it's Westbourne who drops deeper to try create something for his side, but he's put under some pressure by Desirue, who deflects the ball out into the path of Evans. He drives up towards halfway before playing it left towards Horton. Still inside their own half of the field here. Westbourne comes deeper once again, almost occupying a quarterback style position with everybody in front of him. Floats it down the left hand side. Denton on the end of it, tries to bring it under control with the left boot, just bounces inside the penalty area, but again Rochdale swarm towards the ball, managed to knock it up and over the halfway line, and it ends up back at the feet of Jones. Scunthorpe just seen a bit more of the ball in the last couple of minutes or so. They go direct over the halfway line again. Far too much on it for Whitehall to get onto the end of. Collects it on the second attempt though, in towards Roberts, onto his left foot, can't find the space to shoot. Good tackle, comes in the end from Perry, left-footed just to poke it away from the Scunthorpe winger. Rochdale have the possession back and they look to advance up towards the halfway line. Moss looks for the give and go, but in the end Rochdale opt to slow things down, back towards Watmouth it goes, who has Ebanks Landell just to his right. We've spoke about Scunthorpe United and how they go direct, they like to be physical. That's really the first time they've managed to get inside the penalty area. Nothing came of it. Rochdale managed to play up towards the halfway line. Desirue can't make anything happen as he tries to turn away. Ball clatters into the referee, so there will be a breaking play here. So let's get to Old Trafford. Huge game in the Premier League. It is Derby Day. Manchester United taking on Liverpool. Bill Rice is watching this one.
And the teams emerge from the tunnel. It's third against fourth in the Premier League, but even with both sides set to qualify for the Champions League, this one still matters to the supporters more than any other game. United, no one in better form than them since Michael Carrick took charge of the Reds, come into the game making just one change. Matthias Cunha back available after a hip problem. He comes into the side with Ahmad making way as United try and extend the gap between themselves and Liverpool to 6 points. Just one needed this afternoon to guarantee a return to the Champions League next season. We are underway in the next few minutes between the two most successful teams in England. It's Manchester United against Liverpool.
Bill, thank you. Regular updates to come from Old Trafford throughout the afternoon. Here at Scotland it is Rochdale 1, Scunthorpe United 0 after 27 minutes here on BBC Radio Manchester. Moments ago Rochdale went long up towards the halfway line. Desirue did really well to bring it under control, but his shirt was almost on the floor from the tug on it. It was impressive how he managed to stay on his feet. That's just the type of challenge I suppose a big physical striker has to deal with throughout the game.
Yeah, it's one of those moments that referees very rarely give you anything for it because it's part and parcel of what you do, which is not quite right, I suppose. But he dealt with it very well and tried to drop it off to his teammates, and it's exactly what Rochdale need from a reference.
Rochdale give the ball away on the edge of their own 6-yard area. It's squared across. No one in white and claret of Scunthorpe player to collect. Rochdale lived to tell the tale. It was Gordon who tried to muscle his way out of danger. Couldn't manage to do so, but Scunthorpe don't manage to punish it. And this is where Rochdale need to be careful. We've spoke about how Scunthorpe haven't really managed to create too much, but there's a reason they're in a playoff semi-final. It's because they do punish teams if you allow them to.
Yeah, I think that's twice we've seen Rochdale get a little bit overzealous, a little bit too overconfident at the back and give Scunthorpe a glimpse of their goal from trying to overplay in certain areas. It was Gordon that tried to head a ball down to Ebanks Landell, who was under pressure. He gave it away, and then we saw Gordon there, as you mentioned, tried to muscle his way out, get caught on the ball, and they were lucky Callum Roberts wasn't in the right place to pounce on what was a open goal basically from the ball that trickled across the box. So don't give the opponents any encouragement. Obviously you've got to try and play out, but there's a time and place, and you've got to make those assessments really quickly as to when and where to do that.
Watmouth in the possession, edge of his own 6-yard area, just again assesses what's in front of him before putting the right boot on top of the ball, rolls it onto his left foot before clipping it out towards the right of the defence again. Gordon collects, first touch isn't the best, just bounces behind him, so he's forced to roll it into the path of Ebanks Landell, who takes it towards the touchline before clipping it forward. Desiree rises, can't win the header. Second ball lands at the feet of Gilmore, right on the halfway line. Now Rodney takes control out towards the right hand side. Adebayo rolling once again, looks for the give and go, can't get the return, cleared away just in the nick of time by Scunthorpe. Throw will go the way of Rochdale, just shy of the halfway line. You spoke about Adebayo rolling before the game, Calvin Andrews. A real handful, isn't he, down that right hand side?
He is. I think the width of Rochdale, as I mentioned, is going to be so important, and he's got the legs and being able to run at players. I think Denton will have his hands full, as you mentioned there, down on that side. He has to keep doing it though. He hasn't had a lot of joy there, but it's important for wingers and your wide players to never get shy and never turn down the option to run in behind or travel with the ball. And if he continues to do that in this game, Rochdale will get opportunities coming from that end.
Watmuff has it again. He and Ebanks Londell exchange a couple of passes before Watmuff is probably going to be forced to go long here after Whitehall applies the pressure. Left-footed down the touchline. Moss on the end of it into the penalty area. Can he get the cross in? He can, but it's straight into the gloves of Louis Jones, who picks it out of the air and gets his side on the counter-attack up towards the halfway line. Loose ball, Gilmore, space to work with towards the edge of the area. Can he shoot? Plays it to Hannon on the left, across goal, tipped away, still a chance. Gilmore back to goal. Can he find the layoff? Plays it back out towards Hannon, left touchline, ball towards the penalty area. Desiree rises, can't make contact, back towards him. It's just bounced inside the 18-yard box with no one really anticipating the second ball there. Scunthorpe managed to pick it up, but a big tackle comes in from Moss again. He's left in a heap on the ground, but Hannon chooses to play on as Moss steadily makes his way back to his 2 feet. East with the possession, plays a 1-2 with Desiree, and now Rochdale look to start turning the screw again. Kyron Gordon. Infield it comes towards East. Jinks past one tackle down the right. Plays it towards Rodney, who plays it back up towards Gordon, who advances from the right centre-back position. He's forced to turn it back towards Ebanks Londell. Centre circle. Out towards the right as Rochdale's attack maybe just slows down ever so slightly. Perry down the left-hand side. And this is where Rochdale have had most of their luck in the first half. Hannon and Moss maybe not quite on the same wavelength, but Moss does really well to retreat, win the ball back, flicks it off Bell Howard and wins the corner. Really good play there from Daniel Moss. Rochdale lead 1-0 and got an opportunity here from the corner on the left hand side.
Yeah, they really got the rub of the green down on this near hand side. This left hand attack between Moss and Hannon down here, their combinations have been fantastic. They brought about the first goal, and it looks like any other opportunity is going to come from this side as well.
32 minutes on the clock. 1-0 Rochdale leads Scunthorpe United. Corner Dale from the left in towards the centre of the penalty area. Keeper comes, fits it clear. Referee spots an infringement in the penalty area. Free kick goes away off the iron, and a bit of respite for them. They look very dangerous at this left hand side, Rochdale.
They do indeed. I think there's a real weakness to this Scunthorpe right hand side. They play very high forward on this side that leaves a lot of space, plus the centre halves do lack a little bit of mobility. They don't like passes being played in and around them.
Free kick goes away of Scunthorpe this time on the corner of the penalty area. It's just a coming together. The away fans were convinced, so was the referee Jamie O'Connor. Probably not in shooting distance, but a good chance for them to get the ball into the middle, and this is where Rochdale need to be careful from set pieces like this. And it looks as though Adebayo Rowland's going to be shown a yellow card for that challenge as well.
Yeah, it's the worrying thing with Rochdale and the way they play sometimes. 33 minutes played, they've pretty much had it all their own way. The only opportunities Scunthorpe have come really from Rochdale turning over the ball themselves, and then you make an unnecessary foul in the final third and you give Scunthorpe an opportunity to bring their big players up from the back and have a sight at your goal. They need to defend this very bravely and make sure they make the first contact.
Coming up to 34 minutes gone, Rochdale with a 1-0 lead to defend. Free kick to Scunthorpe on the left hand side. Roberts and Jones stand over it as it's Roberts who whips it in towards the middle. It's a decent ball that flashes across the 6-yard area. It's easily enough to clear for Hannon though, who instead opts not to knock it long down the left hand side. Instead goes up towards the halfway line. Not the best clearance. However, Rochdale can eventually break forward. Ball breaks for Rodney up the right. Has support from Adebayo rolling down the touchline. Rodney just loses his footing, goes to ground. Scunthorpe United have the possession back, and now an opportunity for them to counter as well. Up the left hand side, Jones has it. One to beat in the shape of East. Rodney gets back and helps out defensively, but East looked as though he didn't need it. Somehow Jones has muscled his way through down the left, in towards Whitehall, towards the penalty area, beaten to it by Adebayo Rowling, who just runs it out for throwing. Scunthorpe now really turning the pressure up on this Rochdale defence. Rowley stands on top of the ball. Left hand side has Westbourne in support, forced to go back towards the halfway line. In it comes to Roberts, who first time plays it back out towards the left hand side. Horton just looking for anything in behind here that Scunthorpe can fashion, but Rochdale so far has seen their defence hold firm. Ball inside Scunthorpe's own half of the field. Long over the top it goes. Roberts in behind. However, the offside flag goes up. The shot goes astray over the crossbar anyway. So it remains 1-0 here at Scotland after 35 minutes on BBC Radio Manchester. Manchester United also in action at Old Trafford. They take on rivals Liverpool this afternoon, and watching this one is Bill Rice.
It's 5 minutes gone here at a raucous Old Trafford, where it is Manchester United 0, Liverpool 0. Michael Carrick's side on the front foot right from the off here this afternoon. Benjamin Sesko with one stretching effort with his head, just couldn't quite connect with a cross from Bryant and Mbumo in the early exchanges. They now have a corner which Mbumo is set to take as they attack the old scoreboard end in this first half of this fixture at Old Trafford. And Mbumo over the ball now, ready to take it. Here he comes, left-footed to deliver into the near post, headed away by Liverpool. Shot comes in from Cunha, bounces wide of Woodman and into the corner of the net. And Manchester United have the lead at Old Trafford in the 6th minute. Cunha slides in front of the fans in celebration as he nets at the second attempt. His first effort blocked, his second scuff bounces beyond the stretch of Woodman and into the corner, and in for Manchester United have the lead at Old Trafford. United 1, Liverpool 0.
Bill, thank you. Bournemouth have just extended their lead in the Premier League as well against Crystal Palace, 3-0 to the Cherries there. They're in fine form as well as they chase down a European spot, but so far so good for Manchester United and for Rochdale. Maybe just a bit of concern for Daniel Moss, who's down receiving treatment on the edge of the 18-yard box. He's got the Rochdale medical team keeping a close eye on him as we get nearer and nearer to the break here at Spotland. It is Rochdale 1, Scunthorpe United 0. Manny Dizarui's second minute goal, the difference between the two sides. Boreham Wood away in the final for either side who qualify here. The playoffs well and truly underway here on BBC Radio Manchester. Again, a reminder, after yesterday's results in the Football League, Stockport County start their playoff journey away from home down at Stevenage at 3 o'clock next Saturday. Then Bolton Wanderers host Bradford City at 8 o'clock at home. They'll have to go away in the second leg of theirs. 8 o'clock Saturday night on BBC Radio Manchester for that one. Salford City take on Grimsby Town at 3 o'clock next Sunday away from home. First up before the second leg in the following week. And if Rochdale hold on to this 1-0 lead, the National League playoff final will take place at 3 o'clock at Wembley Stadium next weekend. We'll keep you across everything on BBC Radio Manchester as Daniel Moss comes across towards the left-hand side. He's back on his feet, looks as though he's going to be okay to continue. He's been lively in the left wing-back position, hasn't he?
He has. It'd be a shame to see him come off. He seems to be struggling with something there high up on his hip. Maybe a thigh injury of some kind. No, he's pointing at his ribs. Shows you how much I know. But he's been very effective down on this left-hand side himself, and Hannon run rampant at times. Good movement between the two of them. Been explosive in possession. And they want to get him back on the pitch as soon as possible.
Scunthorpe come forward again. Easily enough to defend by Adebayo Rowling, who turns it back towards Watmouth. Under some pressure, forced to play it right-footed downfield. Moss is just awaiting the instruction to re-enter the field of play, much to the frustration of the home fans. The referee so far hasn't given the signal, eventually does so, and the Rochdale number 22 can march back on from the left-hand side. Scunthorpe United in the possession. We've got 5.5 minutes to go until the break. Dale lead 1-0 in the semi-final of the National League playoffs. Scunthorpe come forward down the right-hand side. Belhauen right-footed, far too much on the ball, but it stays in the field of play, just on the left-hand touch line. Eventually it's floated in towards the 6-yard area. Roberts underneath it, gets his head on it, takes a deflection off a blue shirt, quick as a flash. Watmuth comes out and collects the ball before it goes over the dead ball line. And now we're going to have another break in play here as Danny Whitehall, the Scunthorpe United striker, down, and he's going to need a little bit of medical treatment on the penalty spot. The physios from Scunthorpe United make their way on. Roberts is across to make sure he's okay. It looks as though he's holding his hamstring. This will be very worrying for Scunthorpe United. He's their top scorer this season, 18 goals across all competitions, and a big part of how they play as well.
Yeah, it looks like his game is coming to an end once you see that sort of grimace on your face and people pointing at hamstrings. Been there myself, there's not much you can do. It looks like Whitehall might be coming off. You never like to see it. Long season, work so hard to get yourself an opportunity to advance in the playoffs, and even if Scunthorpe were to do it here, you'd probably figure you won't be featuring in the final either. There will be a change in Rochdale's favour, I suppose. He's a big handful. They will be bringing on probably Howe, who's a very different type of striker. But tough afternoon for Danny Whitehall.
Yeah, we sat right behind the dugouts here at Spotland. We're just to the right of the centre circle where they're situated, and Howe was instantly ready to come on after Danny Whitehall went to the ground. So you imagine that Howe's gone through his warm-ups in the last 5-10 minutes or so. Whitehall's probably just given it as long as possible to see if he'll be able to run it off. It looks as though he's not going to be able to do so. Just shakes the hand of Luke Cannon on his way off towards the near side. The Rochdale fans also applaud as he's forced from the field of play. 42 minutes on the clock. Rochdale with a 1-0 advantage, and Whitehall is off with Declan Howe on in his place for Scunthorpe United. That may change the way they approach this one, but you could argue that they probably needed to change their approach a little bit as well.
Yeah, it's a bit strange because I talked about how direct they are, but they haven't played the ball forward to Danny Whitehall of any quality so far after 42 minutes. All the opportunities have come, as I mentioned, from Rochdale mistakes. So with Declan Howe coming on, maybe their approach is a bit different.
Ball over the top, looking for Disarue. Gets his right boot on it, flicks it towards goal, collected by Jones. Rodney was lurking, couldn't get there in time, and now Denton goes long up and over the halfway line. Ebanks Landell wins the header for Dale. Puts it back in towards the Scunthorpe half of the field, but it is collected in the end by Rowley. Drills it out towards the right-hand side where Belhauen collects. Plays it back towards Evans, who squares it across to his centre-back partner Horton, who sees the figure of East approach, so goes back towards his goalkeeper Jones, who right-footed drills the ball over the halfway line again. Belhauen on the end of it. He's rather tall for a full-back. He's making his physical presence known, but he's already shown a turn of pace on a number of occasions in this one as well.
He definitely heads the ball like a fullback. He wasn't interested in putting his head on the end of that one at all, for the size of him.
It looks as though he's now the focal point in the attack, though. Every long ball from Scunthorpe United going out towards the right-hand side. Again, Belhauen is towering above Daniel Moss there, and instead of trying to win the header, he just shoves Moss to the ground. Free kick goes away of Rochdale, and it looks as though there's a fair bit of concern here for Daniel Moss as well.
I'm not being funny. That has to be a yellow card. Maybe even more, Josh, because in all my playing career, I'm not sure I've ever seen that before. Ball was kicked from the complete opposite direction. Belhauen wasn't even looking at the ball. Directly in Moss's face. Raised both of his arms towards him. The ball then hit him on the back of the head. He didn't even attempt to play the ball, and the referee's not even chosen to book him.
I just wrote yellow card down next to his name on the team sheet.
It had to be.
And he's not given it. It was bizarre because
Strange.
he was
favourite to win the ball, but chose to not.
It was like you going for a header up against myself, who's 5'5", Calvin Andrew, and you instead, for some reason, decided to shove me to the ground.
Well, there are days sometimes.
You might have wanted to on a number of occasions, to be fair. The medical staff from Rochdale just ensuring that Daniel Moss is okay, but there's been another goal at Old Trafford. Bill Rice.
Yeah, it's Manchester United 2, Liverpool 0. Benjamin Sesko with the goal. Don't think Bruno Fernandes will get the assist. It was his cross towards the striker, but Freddie Woodman, the Liverpool keeper, got a touch on it. He took it away, got there first, but inadvertently pushed it against the striker, and it bundled over the line. It's United 2, Liverpool 0.
Good news so far for Manchester United. Absolutely flying under Michael Carrick, who's further making a case for him to take the job on a permanent basis at Old Trafford. Daniel Moss is back on his feet, but it looks as though he is going to have to be replaced. Casey Petit is ready to come onto the field. So premature end to the afternoon for Daniel Moss. He limps down the tunnel on this near side. It looks as though he was holding his groin as it got back up to his feet. Now Casey Petit comes in towards the centre of midfield. It sees Hannon pushed out towards the left wing back position for Rochdale as they get the game back underway. With a long ball down the left hand side, Desiree chests it up into the air, but it just creeps over the touchline on this near side. Throw into Scunthorpe United, and boos begin to ring around Scotland for Jean Belhauen, who bundled Daniel Moss to the ground, wasn't shown a yellow card for it, and he takes a throwing up the touchline. Chested down by Howe, tries to flick it into the path of Westbrook, who goes long over the top looking for Jones, can't get onto the end of it. Watmuth collects, cool as you like, brings the ball under control before playing it out towards Gordon, who drives it towards the halfway line, just cuts back and sends Jones on his way up in towards his own half of the field. Gordon still in the possession as he goes down the touchline. Throwing goes away of Rochdale after a coming together between Adebayo Rowling and Denton. So Rochdale in fact have a free kick rather just shy of the touchline inside the Scunthorpe United half of the field. This time they play it short. I don't blame him, because Rochdale's best chances and the goal from this one has come from sticking to this philosophy of playing from the back, moving the ball up the left hand side, which they've looked to do so again. Hannon gives chase to a long diagonal, just doesn't get the bounce too much on it, runs out for a Scunthorpe United throw-in. We're into added on time here, but the signal hasn't actually gone up from the fourth official. We've had 2 of, we believe, 5 minutes at the end of the first half. 1-0 Rochdale lead as we approach half time. Imagine Jimmy McNulty will be pretty happy with what he's seen from his side. He'd prefer it to be 2-0. His side thought they won the possession on the halfway line. The referee, Jamie O'Connor, gives the throw in the other way. Roberts wanted to take it quickly for Scunthorpe, however the referee says he's going to have to march back 10 yards or so. Belhauen instead is going to take the throw in. On this near side, right in front of the dugouts. Rochdale just need to see the half out now, you feel?
Yeah, they need to be careful not to get drawn into this sort of bickering match between themselves and the Scunthorpe players. The game's starting to get a little bit flat as well, and that's when you worry for Rochdale. The concentration levels drop. We've seen a few mistakes already, but they need to keep doing what they're doing, but staying positive, but also threatening that back line of Scunthorpe.
We've just had confirmation. It is in fact 9 minutes of additional time at the end of the first half. We've played 3 of them so far. Rochdale have the possession inside their own half of the field, very calmly just working the ball around, finding the pockets of space out the back before they can drive it down the centre of the field to Desiree, who brings it under control, back in towards the path of Gilmore, takes a touch out towards the right hand side, looks for Gordon, who puts his boot on top of the ball, turns it back towards Watmuth, who finds Ebanks Landell. Scunthorpe United now engaged with a bit of a higher press. Play back towards Watmuth, who this time goes long down the right hand side, looking for the run of Adebayo Rowling, couldn't get onto the end of it, runs all the way through to the goalkeeper Jones, who rolls it back towards Horton, who carries it up towards halfway. Another long ball over the top. This time looking for Ewing, who made a run down the left-hand side. Couldn't get onto the end of it. Throw-in goes away of Rochdale, deep inside their own half of the field. They do look very comfortable and controlled in possession, don't they?
That's when you're at your most vulnerable, though, Josh, in those moments. I think it's easy to see that Rochdale have got the better of that Scunthorpe front line when they have the ball down and they're passing it. Scunthorpe haven't been able to pounce on anything or cut out the passing lanes, but you then become overconfident, start playing more difficult passes, start taking a bit more risk, and you remember you are close to your own goal, and that's where the problems start.
Westbrook in the possession, left-hand side for Scunthorpe. They're looking to pull themselves onto level terms at the end of the first half. We've had 5 minutes of the 9 added on at the end as Scunthorpe go long down the left-hand side again. Tyler Denton gives chase, can't get onto the end of it before it's flicked away again by Adebayo Rolling. Out towards the left-hand side, bit of a shimmy on this occasion from Jones before he drills it in low right-footed. Easily dealt with Rochdale as they put it up towards the halfway line. Westbrook again collects, floats it out towards the right hand side. Bellhaven can't get onto the end of it. Rochdale clear, and now Rodney drives forward up the left hand side. He's got support through Perry, finds him almost on the edge of the penalty area. Good read from Evans to come across, collect the possession back for Scunthorpe, keeps it in the field of play as well, and looks to set Roberts on his way up the right hand side. Can't feed it in behind towards Howe. In the end, it's spread out before Gilmore just calms the situation down, plays it out towards the right-hand side where Gordon collects for Rochdale. Up towards the halfway line he goes before cutting back. There's 5 in the white and claret of Scunthorpe United, putting the pressure on. Watmouth this time goes long down the right-hand side, but nobody quite on the same wavelength. It's going to run out towards the corner flag and for a goal kick to Scunthorpe. They probably just need to reset a little bit, don't they? After they were forced in towards that substitution, they've shifted round a little bit. Rodney's come across towards the left-hand side to help Hannon out in the full-back position. Half-time may suit Rochdale, probably more than it does Scunthorpe at this point in time.
It's a tough one to say because at the moment, Scunthorpe don't really have an idea of how to hurt Rochdale. And like I mentioned before, when they get in at half-time and Adam Butler gets hold of this team, they're probably going to come out with a better understanding of what it is their manager wants. So the longer this half goes on, Rochdale really should be looking to try and get another goal to nullify the sort of onslaught that's going to come in the next 45.
Had 7 minutes of the 9 added on at the end of the first half. 1-0 Rochdale lead here on BBC Radio Manchester. Elsewhere, Manchester United lead Liverpool 2-0 in the Premier League. More from Bill Rice to come throughout half-time in this one as Rochdale have the possession inside their own half of the field via a throw-in, which Callum Perry is going to take. There was a couple of options to go short. However, in fact, he's going to leave it for Hannon to throw in. A couple of options in the navy of Rochdale. In the end, it's Hannon who just launched it up and over the halfway line. Desiree was the target, doesn't get close enough to him. Evans can clear, collected by Petit, who switches it out towards the right-hand side. Now Rochdale can come forward. Adebayo Rolling, options in the middle, waits for Gordon to arrive. He whips it towards the far post. Desiree's there. He's having his shirt tugged all over the place there. It will be a corner kick to Rochdale. Desiree is having to do it physical this afternoon. Wins his side a corner, and he's a real handful to deal with.
Yeah, as soon as that ball goes backwards, as a number 9, as a centre forward there, you've got to be pulling onto the far shoulder. It's exactly what Desiree does. Breaks the eyesight of the defender to be able to see you and the ball, and makes it very difficult.
Corner to Rochdale, taken low towards the near post, headed up but not away by Scunthorpe, inside the penalty area. Gordon heads gowards, now Rodney's looping header lands on the roof of the net for a second. Louis Jones, the Scunthorpe goalkeeper, thought that was creeping underneath his crossbar. Much to his relief, the net ripples but from the wrong side, and it remains Rochdale 1, Scunthorpe United 0.
What I will say is, we touched on before that Scunthorpe are so dominant in aerial possession, but every time that cross comes in, where it's corner or set piece from Rochdale, you feel like there's an opportunity for Rochdale to get something.
Scunthorpe come forward down the left again. Howe can't get onto the end of it. Anywhere will do. From a Dale point of view, up and over the halfway line, creeps out of play And that will be that for the first half in the National League playoff semi-final. And so far, so good for Jimmy McNulty's side. Only 2 minutes took Manny Desirue to get on the score sheet again. His 28th goal of the season, put it in the back of the net from close range, and from then on it's been a very calm and controlled performance from Rochdale. They played it nicely round the back, created a number of other opportunities. Rodney went close just on the brink of half-time to double in the advantage. Rochdale halfway there, but it still feels a long way to go. Scunthorpe United not out of this one yet. Half-time at Spotland, Rochdale 1, Scunthorpe 0.
Thank you very much. More to come from Josh and Calvin as we digest that first half in just a moment. But let's go over to Old Trafford. Bill Rice is there for us for Manchester United and Liverpool. What's it looking like the latest, Bill? There's been quite a few chances.
Yeah, it's been a great first half this for Manchester United so far. They lead Liverpool by 2-0. Really bright start from Michael Carrick's side, and they were rewarded inside 6 minutes with the opening goal. Matheus Cunha scored it. His first effort was blocked with his right foot. His second with the left deflected off the backside of Alexis McAllister, and that inadvertent ricochet just took it beyond the reach of Freddie Woodman in the Liverpool goal and into the corner of the net. And you have to say United deserved it for the fast start they made, and not only that, they doubled their advantage. Again, Liverpool struggling with the pace and the intensity of United's attacks. Fernandes' cross into the box was a dangerous one. Woodman got to it first, but his punch ricocheted straight into the midriff of Sesko. It looked like he bundled it home with his crotch, to be honest, but they all count, and it's 2-0 to Manchester United. Since then, Liverpool have been the side with the more of the possession without really testing Senna Lomans. One effort from Gakpo wide of the target, the best they have been able to come up with, and United leading by 2-0.
Thank you very much. We'll be back to Bill, of course, for another update shortly. That one just approaching 26 minutes in at Old Trafford. Just to make you aware as well, news has been circulating and has been confirmed that Sir Alex Ferguson has been taken to hospital. That comes after he was feeling unwell at Old Trafford ahead of the game this afternoon. And it's understood that the 84-year-old has been taken into medical care purely as a precaution, but it is expected that he shall be recuperating at home. So, of course, we'll keep you up to date with that should any further information arise. Right, let's go back to our National League playoff semi-final. Of course, the first semi-final took place earlier. That finished Carlisle 1, Boreham Wood 2. So we know whoever advances today will face Boreham Wood next Sunday at Wembley. Calvin Andrew and Josh Watson, of course, have been bringing you this one. Calvin, sum up that first half from a Dale point of view for us.
Yeah, it was a fantastic start. We talked about them coming out the blocks hot and very fast in the way in which they played to nullify that physicality of Scunthorpe. They did just that. They had fantastic movement down on this near side with Hannant and Moss combining, drawing players out of positions before the ball was sprayed in behind. Hannant marauding down that left-hand side, cuts it across. Desirue with the final touch to send it into the back of the net. After that, the game became a little bit stagnant. Rochdale continued to take chances at the back that they were almost punished on it a couple of times. You feel like Rochdale's worst enemy in this game is themselves, with being a little bit overconfident in the way in which they play out. I said before the game they have to play with no fear, but also have to understand when the numbers are against them and the press is on, and play over or through it. Use the reference in Desirue up front. Scunthorpe have been toothless at times. I don't think they've posed much of a threat. They haven't really been able to work out how to play against Rochdale. As I mentioned in the commentary in the first sort of 20 minutes, the problem Rochdale have is it's only 1-0 going in at half-time. Andy Butler, will definitely change something, and Scunthorpe will come out with more desire and understanding of how they want to play.
Yeah, and of course it's never comfortable, is it? I mean, it's without doubt getting a goal that early will have settled those inevitable nerves amongst the fans, which, as you say, it can be transferred onto the pitch, but it will have settled it a little bit. The players will have settled maybe a little bit, but obviously it's far from comfortable, isn't it? And that's about managing this second half with that advantage, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to Josh, I would have loved Rochdale to get one more, maybe two in that first 45, where Scunthorpe were toothless, as I said, and didn't really defend very well as well. It's strange to see them in comparison to how they played on Tuesday. They were very physical, very dominant in aerial duels. Today, it hasn't looked like that at all. Rochdale have had sort of the better of them in the air, even in corners and crosses into Scunthorpe's box. They've been able to make the first contact. You just wonder if those half chances, the opportunity of Scunthorpe not being quite at the races, would have been something that Rochdale could capitalise on in that first 45 minutes. Going into this second half now, it still is very much anyone's.
You mentioned in the build-up, Calvin, it was really important for Rochdale to be brave. Have they done enough of that so far? And is there anything that you would change in this second half from a Dale point of view?
I think they have. You've got to give credit where credit's due. They're playing with no fear, as I mentioned before. I mean, Ethan Ebanks-Landell at the back having to stand on the ball and try and draw people out. Watmouth, the goalkeeper, as well, getting involved in some 1-2s to try and break the lines. And then once it gets into midfield, Gilmore's been fantastic of playing on the half turn, playing key passes. But the only danger, as I mentioned earlier, is Rochdale are a danger to themselves, because there's been times where they've been fearless and they've been able to play through that press very well, but there's also times where they've been sloppy in their pass selection and it's been cut out and given Scunthorpe half chances and a little bit of impetus in this game. So it's about managing and sort of understanding the dangers of when and where to play, rather. And I think this next 45 minutes, if they continue with that same understanding of being fearless, they will get more opportunities and looks at Scunthorpe's goal.
Thank you very much, Calvin. Of course, we're back with the second half commentary of that one. 1-0 ahead, Rochdale at the moment against Scunthorpe. So 1 foot in that playoff final at Wembley next week. Let's head back to Old Trafford now for a quick update on Manchester United and Liverpool. Bill Rice.
Yeah, half an hour gone. Still Manchester United 2, Liverpool 0. Benjamin Sesko with the second goal. Matthias Cunha with the first for Manchester United, who have seen a bit more of the ball in the last few minutes. There was a long period of Liverpool possession, but United finally getting themselves a bit further upfield. They've been really good without the ball, United, really organised and difficult to break down, and then they've broke with real purpose when they've won it, but they're now slick in possession too. So we're seeing many different sides to Michael Carrick's Manchester United right now, and the most pleasing thing for him, I'm sure, will be that his side have scored 2 goals and are bossing their big rivals. It's United 2, Liverpool 0.
Thank you very much, Bill. Continued updates from Old Trafford as United lead at Liverpool 2-0. Bournemouth earlier beat Crystal Palace 3-0. And in the earlier National League playoff semi-final, it was Carlisle 1, Boreham Wood 2. Who will face them between Rochdale and Scunthorpe is yet to be decided. Second half commentary of that one on the way.
The Joe McGrath Breakfast Show.
We were talking about how in Belgium they have a seagull off. The North version we can do is a wood pigeon off. Now, Holly, your noise has gone down. It's an interesting noise. Jackie in here more, so listen to this. Musical.
Got a good vibrato on the vocals.
Mark in one of the range might have won it though. I think it's the commitment more than anything, Paul.
He's been practicing.
He has been practicing.
Volume.
The Joe McGrath Breakfast Show.
Weekdays from 6.
Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Manchester. Total Sport.
BBC Radio Manchester.
So it's Rochdale 1, Scunthorpe 0 in the National League playoff semi-final. The second half commentary of that on the way. Still underway, Manchester United and Liverpool at Old Trafford. That one kicked off at 3:30, so we'll be bringing you more updates from there. But in your first commentary today on Total Sport, it was Manchester City women attempting to take a step towards their first WSL title in a decade. And Rebecca Knak's stoppage time winner rescued those hopes after it was looking a little bit nail-biting for the fans. It now remains in their hands heading into the final game. Let's hear from Blues boss Andre Jaglets.
It was a tough game, but I think that says something about this group also, even if there is parts in the game that we struggle a little bit. Liverpool make it difficult for us, but finding a way to win is thing that we talked about earlier this year, and show something about the group that no matter what. We never give up and keep going, believe and trust in what we're doing, and then getting over the line in the end. So that's nice.
Were there ever moments in the game when you thought, well, this is not going to happen for us today?
I think we coaches always think like that. It's like, oh, now we struggle. But like I said earlier, I believe so much in the players, what we're doing, how we are believing in the process, and believing in each other. I always feel that, of course, there is parts whereupon we don't need to make sure that we don't concede any goal, because chances, we will create chances. We do that with this group of players. We always create chances, but we needed to be a little bit better in the defending so they don't score. And those parts where we struggle in first half, of course, you always have a feeling that we need to make sure we do this better.
Plenty to play for. Of course, they have the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea. That's next Sunday. And then the final game of the WSL the following week on Saturday, the 16th of May, away at West Ham, where, should they win, they can secure their first WSL title in a decade. Now, Carl Robinson's Salford City were held to a goalless draw against Crawley in their final League Two match. He expressed his frustration with his side finishing fourth in the league due to what he described as poor refereeing.
He made the biggest mistake in the game, and we made mistakes by not taking chances. So if you looked at the game today, we territorially dominated, we missed a few chances. Today could have been such a special day, and now we're going to the playoffs, but we're looking forward to them as well. It's through gritted teeth, and we'll dust ourselves off and we'll get ready to go again.
Have you had an explanation as to why that wasn't given?
He didn't see it. He thought that he fell to the ground. The referee, I just said, that is horrendous. Horrendous. The PGMOL, I've got more to answer for than I've ever seen. Jonesy and everyone from Dave Allison, who used to be in charge of it, every single one of them, I really need to know what's going on. Because that is incompetency at the highest level. At the highest level. And when you come into these moments, I have to trust in the officials. And I can't trust them today. I really can't.
Had a lot of chances as well. You probably did everything but the score. Cleared off the line, hit the crossbar twice, keeper makes a brilliant save.
Congratulations to them and how they defended. Also as well, what shocked me was how the referee allowed them to time waste. How he allowed them to get rid of all the balls around the pitch and not actually control it. And another one, Charlie Barker should have been sent off in the first half. He'd been booked, there was a clear booking after that he decides, my player's in on goal. And he pulls it back for a pull and then doesn't give the booking, which meant, because he knew he got it wrong. It's mind-blowing, but you know what? We're in the playoffs and we're going to go to Grimsby. We know it's going to be a difficult place to go and play. We know it's going to be hard, and we've got to be the best version of ourselves, which we certainly will do.
Yeah, plenty of playoff action with our local sides coming up. A frustrated Carl Robinson there on Total Sport. That followed their goalless draw with Crawley. With the second half of Rochdale and Scunthorpe on the way. 1-0 Rochdale are leading, so job half done, but plenty still to do if they are to secure their place at Wembley in the National League playoff final next weekend at Wembley. Let's head back to Old Trafford though before that. Bill Rice is there for Manchester United and Liverpool, and it looks like there's plenty to update us on, Bill, since even just a few minutes ago when we last spoke with you.
Yeah, there's 8 minutes to go until half time here. It's still United leading Liverpool by 2-0. Could have been 3. Bruno Fernandes flashing an effort just wide of the target after another lightning Manchester United counter, but it's getting physical, this one as well. Bit of wrestling going on either side of the pitch. Referee trying to let a lot go as well. There have been a couple of occasions when United players have gone down under challenges, nothing given, and the referee has told them to get back up to their feet and carry on. Another wrestling match here on the left hand side between Andy Robertson and Brian Mbumo. That is a real battle with both of them getting forward. There's lots of space when the ball is turned over over for the opposition to race into. So it's bubbling up, as you would expect in this fixture. Wouldn't be surprised if we don't end the afternoon with the full 22 on the field, because it is always a tasty encounter, tackles flying in. But crucially, Manchester United have done the hard work early on and got themselves into a commanding position. Liverpool have seen a lot of the ball, but it's United who are dominating on the scoreboard. They lead Liverpool by 2-0.
Thank you very much, Bill. Not too far from half-time in that one then, so unless something happens before that half-time whistle, we will await half-time and get a report from Bill, and of course continue to bring you updates throughout the second half as well. So, National League playoff semi-final. The first game was Carlisle and Boreham Wood. Boreham Wood just edging that one 2-1 in extra time. Carlisle were down to 10 players, so Boreham Wood have booked their place in the final. Will it be Rochdale or Scunthorpe who will join them at Wembley? To talk us through the second half, it's Calvin Andrew and Josh Watton.
Stacey, thank you. Almost ready to get back underway here in the semi-final. 45 minutes separates Rochdale and Wembley as it stands. Rochdale just emerged from the tunnel below us. They've left Scunthorpe United waiting for a couple of minutes before they came back out of the tunnels. I think that might be because Andy Butler, the Scunthorpe United manager, instructed his side to get back out there early, go through the paces a little bit, and a huge 45 minutes. An entire season's work comes down to this. A win for either side will put them within 90 minutes of a return to the Football League. Ball on the centre spot. Rochdale will play from left to right as we watch on. No substitutions at half-time for either side. Rochdale get proceedings back underway. Watmuth goes long via the right boot down the left-hand side to try and get his side on the front foot. It only took them 2 minutes in the first half to put themselves on the score sheet. They'll be hoping for another lightning start. To go long over the top again. Dizarue, the goal scorer, gives chase. Can't get on to the end of it. Scunthorpe clear it up towards halfway. Chested down towards Howe. He drives forward up the right hand side. Manages to find Roberts, the captain. Brings it back in field. Option maybe to square it across. In fact, he doesn't opt to do so. Goes back up towards the halfway line instead, where Evans can collect. He looks to get his side on the front foot. It's Belhowen who, again, rather clumsily makes contact with Luke Cannon. Free kick goes away of Rochdale, and they can play it down the centre of the field once again, where Dizarue brings it back under control. Out towards Rodney on the left. He's got support via Hannon. Finds him too before it's switched back towards Perry. Left centre back for Rochdale this afternoon. Reminder of the team out there at the moment. It is Watmuth in goal. The back three of Gordon, Ebanks, Landell and Perry. The full-backs now look to be Hannon, who's under possession now. Nicks it off the defender. 1-1. Hannon goes to the bottom corner. That really should have been two. A brilliant read from the Rochdale full-backs. A nip in behind. Driving 1-1 on goal. Looked at all the world he was going to find the finish, and somehow doesn't find the back of the net. And it remains Rochdale 1, Scunthorpe 0.
Well, you feel like it's going to be a mistake where the next goal's going to come from, and there was a great moment. Hannah darting in behind the defender that was sleeping, waiting for the ball to continue to bounce. Defending 101, you don't go meet it at its highest point. And then he was bearing down on goal. The angle opened up. You felt like he was just going to be able to bend it in the far corner. He got his angles a little bit wrong. Didn't get the arc, all the purchase on the ball he would have wanted, and it flashed past the post. Very good opportunity for Rochdale to double the lead.
At the top end of the pitch for Rochdale, the centre midfielders are Gilmore and Petit. East and Rodney play behind Dizarue. One change from the side who started the game. Moss had to go off injured just before half-time. He was replaced by Casey Petit. Does Rochdale have the possession in the left full-back position? Deep in their own half of the field. It's squared across towards the right where Adebayo Rowling collects. He just plays it back into the path of Watmuth, the goalkeeper, who puts it onto the right boot of his. Well, there's contact off the ball there again. He plays the ball long down over the halfway line. Howe clatters into him, leaves him in a heap on the ground. It's a naughty challenge from the Scunthorpe United number 7. He's been in the wars in this one, the goalkeeper, Ollie Watmuth.
He has. what I will say there, I didn't think it was that bad. Maybe it's me, Josh, coming from an older generation. It looked like Howe was just closing down the ball. It was the follow-through of Watmus after he kicked the ball. His foot then seemed to hit Howe. He made a meal of it, went down, he's holding himself, he's having a look around again. We saw him do something similar in the first half. I think he's looking for contact from the forwards, if I'm being completely honest. I'm not sure the referee will be conned by that. I didn't see much in it.
Jamie O'Connor is just having a word with Howe. The yellow card's out as well. Well, what was different between that and what Jean Belhauen did in the first half, which led to Daniel Moss going off with an injury? Yeah,
there was the one in the first half was a lot more vicious, didn't have his eye on the ball. I'll be honest, if I was Howe on that occasion, Declan Howe closing down a goalkeeper, and his follow-through seemed to hit me, I wouldn't be too happy about receiving a yellow card. He did go at pace. You can see there the Scunthorpe manager, Andy Butler, shaking his head as well. He's not convinced it was a foul. But a good little break for Rochdale to get some water on, a few messages on as well. They've started this half in the right vein, I suppose. Pressing, closing down, Hanlon with a very good opportunity that hasn't been taken. You do fear though, Josh, the opportunities they've had in the first half, the half opportunities, that one is there as well. If you don't take them in games of this magnitude, there is an opportunity for the opposing team to sneak their way back into this game.
Yeah, you do hope that Dale made to rue missed chances in this one. We've played 50 minutes of the playoff semi-final in the National League. Rochdale lead by 1-0. But you do feel as though, as we saw last week, plenty more twists and turns to come as both these sides scrap it out for a place at Wembley Stadium. Scunthorpe United come forward down the left. However, takes a deflection off Jones. It will be a throw-in to Rochdale. On the right of the field, midway inside their own half of the pitch, Gordon has the ball in hand. Looks as though he was going to play it back towards his goalkeeper Watmuth, but instead thought better. Goes long up towards the halfway line, but the header is won by Rowley for Scunthorpe. Plays it back in field before it's switched out towards Hannon on the left, and he looks to drive forward again. Roberts tracks back for Scunthorpe. Can't get close to Hannon before he cuts back. Rolls it back up towards halfway. Now it's Ebanks Landell, the centre-back, who takes control of things as the home fans begin to make their voices heard in the second half. However, they've lost out at the back. Howe tries to play it out towards the left-hand side. Jones can't get on the end of it. Well, we say that Rochdale might be made to rue missed chances, but Scunthorpe might be made to rue not creating any chances, because that was an opportunity to get forward again there.
Yeah, we've seen them do it so many times in the first half.
Rochdale break forward up the left. Hannon looks to have broken the offside trap. The assistant referee disagrees. Free kick goes away of Scunthorpe.
Yeah, we've seen them do it so many times in the first half. With Rochdale make a mistake, Scunthorpe managed to latch onto the ball, but it's the retaining pass that they get wrong every single time. Will they ever get it right today? We hope not if you're a Rochdale fan, but mistakes starting to creep into Rochdale's game again.
Yeah, the goalkeeper Watmuth had the ball on the edge of his own 6-yard area, right-footed, angled it out towards the right-hand side. However, that angle wasn't the correct one. It goes out for a throw-in to the iron. And they get back underway with it pretty quickly. Westbrook has it in the centre circle. Looks to play it down the line towards Roberts as he switched it towards the left-hand side. Jones with one to the beat in the shape of Adebayo rolling. Step over towards the byline. There's a deflection. Loops into the air. Scramble behind. Will be a corner kick to Scunthorpe United. Confusion at the back for Rochdale. Just about live to tell the tale. That wasn't the most convincing defending.
No, that's the first time in this game it's taken sort of 50 odd minutes for Scunthorpe to combine a few passes, and they look dangerous there, and they've got a corner from it.
Corner to be taken from the left hand side. Jones puts it high towards the back post. It's very high. It loops before being met by the head of Ewing. He can't angle it correctly, and it goes past the post and out for a goal kick to Rochdale. 52 minutes on the clock. They still lead by 1-0. At what point in the game, Calvin, do you think that the focus will go from looking to get a second to protecting the one that they've got?
Yeah, I think it's a major part of Jim McNulty's game plan, especially in the second half. You can't rest and relax on a 1-goal lead. We know that, especially as nervy as this game has been. Scunthorpe have been not good in the first half. Let's be completely honest. I'm just watching them again. They've got in a very good area to counter-attack and cause Rochdale a problem, and they turn over possession very easily, very lightly. We do have to remember as well that Declan Howe is on a yellow card. He's made another foul there. They will be topping up. Rochdale have got an opportunity to really put this game to bed in the next 5 or 10 minutes.
They float a pass out towards the right hand side. Adebayo rolling, collects, plays it back up the line towards East. Looks as though Dale are going to just opt to be patient in the build up again as G is for Declan Howe, who loses his footing on the surface. That just allows Rochdale to switch the ball towards the left, and Rodney has the possession. Good touch from him to bring it under control. Rolls it back towards Petit, who goes from distance, puts it high over the crossbar into the stand behind the goal. Remains 1-0 to Rochdale, an ambitious effort at the best.
I don't mind that. He opened his body out very early. You can tell he had nothing but intent in shooting. He had some passes on the outside of him, but they've turned those down a few times. Once the ball does go out there, it doesn't come in the box, so why not have a shot from there and see what you can get from the goalkeeper.
54.5 minutes on the clock here at Spotland. Rochdale 1, Scunthorpe United 0. As Scunthorpe come over the top in towards the edge of the penalty area. Watmouth comes and collects, but it is half time now at Old Trafford. United against Liverpool with Bill Rice.
Yeah, Manchester United 2, Liverpool 0, the half-time score. A really breezy start from United, rewarded with 2 goals inside the first 15 minutes. Matthias Cunha back in the side, converting the first with his shot deflected beyond the reach of Woodman and into the corner. Benjamin Sesko with the second after a VAR check confirmed it went off his midriff rather than his hand into the net after Woodman punched against him. Fernandez probably won't get the assist for that, but there'll be plenty of opportunities to get one second half. Liverpool are vulnerable and United lead by 2-0.
Bill Fanke will keep you up to date throughout the second half when it begins at Old Trafford here on BBC Radio Manchester. But here at Spotland, Rochdale with a 1-goal advantage against Scunthorpe United in the semi-finals of the National League. Ebank Sondell with the possession, plays it back towards Watmouth, who's marched out towards the edge of his penalty area to collect, feeds it through a gap up towards halfway where Gilmore first time can play it out towards Perry on the left. Now back to Ebank Sondell once more, this time direct low along the ground towards Desirue, who brings it under control, twists out towards the left hand side, finds Hannon back on the right boot with his, clips it towards the penalty area, it's high towards the far post, headed back across goal by Adebayo rolling. Desirue wasn't quite on the same wavelength, Rodney was lurking as well, neither could get on the end of it, but Rochdale win it back again, out towards the left, Hannon to Rodney, towards the byline, can he find the cross, goes for goal! Oh, that is spectacular! Devante Rodney, right-footed, smashes it into the top corner, and Scotland erupts. Rochdale with the double, and they've taken another giant step towards Wembley. Rochdale 2, Scunthorpe United 0.
Unbelievable goal from Devante Rodney there. The ball gets played into the area. You see him run round it, shifts it very quickly onto his right foot and lets off a curling rocket into the far corner. That all comes from the fact that the pressure that Rochdale put on Scunthorpe, when that ball gets turned over and Scunthorpe go to latch onto the spare ball, high pressure in the midfield, they win the ball straight back. Scunthorpe haven't got into any shape whatsoever. There's players all over the place, and it allows the likes of Rodney to get into a position where he stays up front, stays in an attacking area, takes that goal very well, and that's exactly what Rochdale needed.
I think everybody was anticipating a cross across the 6-yard area, but only one thing on Devante Rodney's mind as he unleashed the drive into the top corner, and now Rochdale with a 2-goal buffer, and with 33 minutes to go, they are dreaming of promotion back to the Football League via a trip to Wembley. Scunthorpe United with a lot of work to do, diagonal ball out to the left hand side for them. 24 points separated these two sides at the end of the league table, and I think that Rochdale's class is just beginning to show as Desiree has the ball on halfway again, twists away from one challenge. Can he feed it in behind? Instead wins the throw in. Very good play there from Manny Desiree. Brendan Horton's been all over his shirt all game, but he stood up physical. I think it's the time of the year where these shirts go on sale in the club shops. I think Brendan Horton's after Desiree's for free. Trying to tug it off his back, but so far it's a Rochdale number 9 who's laughing the loudest as his side come forward again, tries to switch it out towards the left. Hannon could have been set free. Well, Desiree swung his left boot at the ball there, realised he wasn't going to get there. The Scunthorpe United full-back Bellhowen went to ground without any contact, but he's bought it off the referee. Scunthorpe have a free kick, but again, it's deep inside their own half of the field, and you imagine a bit of desperation will start creeping in their game now.
Certainly so, but Scunthorpe have looked so disjointed at moments. It's been fantastic for Rochdale to get that second goal, just to really take the wind and the sting away from Scunthorpe. The next opportunity will be important, but you feel like Rochdale, the team in the ascendancy.
Ewing has the possession for Scunthorpe United. Left of centre, inside the Rochdale half of the field. Out towards the right-hand side it goes. Decent first touch there from Roberts as well as he drives towards the penalty area. Gets a cross in as well, deflects kindly into the arms of Watmuff, who collects inside the 6-yard box, clutches the ball to his chest. Has a possession back as Andy Butler, the Scunthorpe United manager, looks ever more angry as the seconds tick by, and he just sends a couple of his substitutions out to warm up. Down the touchline, Rochdale also have a few out there as well, just keeping the bodies moving. It's their side who are in the ascendancy here. Gordon plays it towards Gilmore, who turns it all the way back to Watmuff, who takes a touch. The Dale goalkeeper this time goes short towards Gilmore. All the way to the Football League is now the chant from the Rochdale supporters, who have been in fine voice, and their side are responding as well, and they're looking to put gloss on this performance. Rodney down the centre of the field towards the penalty area. There's the shot, this time parried away. Still a chance for Rochdale. East collects on the right, plays it into the path of Adebayo Rolling, back towards East, options in the middle, shapes as though he's going to cross, instead just plays a short ball towards Gordon, returns it back towards East. He's got a plethora of options, goes towards the penalty area. This is Hannon with his back towards the goal, feels as though he has his arm tugged there. Referee says nothing doing, tries to roll it into the path of Desiree on the edge of the penalty area. Scunthorpe clear it up towards the other end of the field, but you do feel as though there are more goals in this one for Rochdale.
Certainly so. They're starting to purr now, Rochdale, playing those key passes into Desiree and getting bodies in and around him. Rodney's got the bit between his teeth after scoring that goal as well, driving through the middle of the pitch to create an opportunity from the halfway line, virtually by himself. You do feel like there's more goals in this one for Rochdale, but there also is still that threat that becoming overconfident in this game could pay, with Scunthorpe looking to get their opportunity from somewhere.
Boreham Wood away at Wembley after they beat Carlisle United by 2-1 after extra time in the earlier semi-final. Rochdale, you probably could say, have one foot at Wembley with a 2-goal advantage, and they are looking very, very good value for their money. East gallops forward once again down the right hand side, plays it in field to Desiree. Referee just gets out of the way in the nick of time. Now on the left, Hannon, options in the middle. Gilmore on the edge of the penalty area, tries to find him, doesn't get the pass right. Scunthorpe can break away here, up towards the halfway line. Roberts looks for an option, feeds it through towards Howe, who just in the nick of time, Watmuff gets to it, puts his hand on top of the ball, almost on the line there, on the edge of the 18-yard box. He didn't look all too convinced there, the Dale goalkeeper, but did just enough to win back the possession. Rochdale have it back on the right-hand side.
Yeah, he overcovered himself there.
Out towards the right-hand side, in towards the penalty area, Rochdale come, across the 6-yard area it goes, flicked clear out towards the left. Over 7,000 packed in Scotland here, and you can tell by the noise that's coming from the goal to our right. The Rochdale fans making their voices heard, and again another breaking run forward there from Adebayo Rolling. flashed it across the 6-yard area, just needed a touch, but on this occasion didn't come. They have a throw in.
That's the first time we've seen Rowley really go at Denton there. As I mentioned, it could be a big part of today's game. He hasn't really taken that on. Every time he gets the ball, you see the coaching staff, the Rochdale coaching staff down here, encouraging him to take people on. He's very good at it, but not all that confident at times, Adebayo Rowley. And that's what he can do. And if you're Desirue, you'll be encouraging him to do more of that, because there's goal scoring opportunities coming from it.
Long ball down the left-hand side of Rochdale's defence from Scunthorpe United. However, it's easily dealt with by Perry, who clears it up towards halfway. Scunthorpe rekindle it though. Edge of the penalty area. Roberts goes to ground, wants a free kick, never going to get that. Gilmore breaks away. Up towards the halfway line. Strong defensive work there from the Rochdale number 8. Out towards the right-hand side. Gordon breaks forward, as does Adebayo Rowley. Now East takes control on the right of the penalty area, squares it across. Rodney's looking for his second of the game, shapes to shoot, opts not to do so. Finds Gilmore, back out towards the left where Hannon can collect. Right boot on top of the ball, looks for options, finds Gilmore, who just plays a 1-2 with his full-back. Triple substitution lined up from Scunthorpe United as Andy Butler looks to roll the dice for what could be the final time this season for the Iron. 2-0 Rochdale lead on BBC Radio Manchester, coming up to 65 minutes played. Out towards the right hand side again. East has it. Adebayo Rowley in support down the touchline, but doesn't use him. Plays it back up towards Gordon. He and East just exchange a couple of passes before it is East who has a chance to get the ball into the middle. Again, opts not to do so. This time it's Casey Petit who comes and gets involved. Plays it into the path of Adebayo Rowley. His touch gets away from him, but Rochdale keep hold of the possession, forced to go all the way back towards Watmuth, the goalkeeper. But Rochdale look very comfortable playing this way, just moving the ball around comfortably, finding the spaces and looking to take the opportunities when they present themselves. Long ball forward, these are coming together on the edge of the penalty area. Free kick goes away. Scunthorpe United, they're going to make a triple substitution, and you'd say that they have to do so as well.
Yeah, understandable from Andy Butler to try and roll the dice at this point. 2-0 down. His team don't have any answers for Rochdale. They haven't for the majority of this game. Let's be completely honest. They've been playing on the hope that Rochdale make mistakes and allow them in. So he's going to bring on 3 players to try and impact that and change the dynamic of this game. But if Rochdale keep doing what they're doing at the moment, you feel like they might get even more.
Yeah, it's Alfie Beesting, Cian Scales and Ross Barrows who are introduced there on in place of Pat Jones, Oliver Ewing and Jean Belhowen. Free kick taken by Scunthorpe. Long over the halfway line it goes again. It's a very dull grey afternoon here in Rochdale. That's not dampening the mood amongst the Rochdale supporters around the stands though, who are in fine voice as their side have a 2-goal advantage. Scunthorpe looking to chip away at that. Long ball down the right hand side. Win the throw in as well, midway inside the Rochdale half of the field. Comes in towards Westbrook. His pass goes astray though, and here come Rochdale over the halfway line again. Desirue, options left and right via Rodney and East. Desirue opts to go himself, just overruns it, eventually collected by Horton, who can play it up towards the halfway line. Tyler Denton, the Leeds United Academy prospect, once upon a time takes control, switched it across towards the right where it's collected by Roberts, who darts down the touchline. However, offside flag goes up against him, and it's turning into a very frustrating afternoon for Scunthorpe United.
Yeah, it is indeed. Things haven't been working for them on the ball. That's the very least you expect from Scunthorpe. To be competitive, to be strong, to challenge, win your duels, which they haven't done for the majority. And then when they have had their opportunities to go forward and try and hurt Rochdale, they haven't been able to connect. Probably anything better than 3 passes for the majority of the game. The likes of Callum Roberts has been nullified. He's only had a couple of looks at goal from outside the box. Credit where it's due for Rochdale. They've managed to take the sting out of Scunthorpe, probably in possession. Rochdale, the passing and the running that Scunthorpe have had to do has made them less effective when they have got the ball.
Scunthorpe looking to make something happen. Beasting on off the bench, looking to get involved in the thick of things. His touch goes astray though. Another chance for him to win back the possession. But some good play from Callum Perry. Flicks it through the legs of Beasting out towards the right hand side. Rochdale move forward again. East down the line. He's left in a heap on the ground by Tyler Denton. The Rochdale bench were right on top of that challenge. Jimmy McNulty really not happy with Denton. The referee awards a free kick, goes to his pocket, will be yellow for the Scunthorpe United fullback. That's probably the correct call by the referee.
Yeah, had to be a yellow card. He wasn't looking at the ball at all. Denton came out very quick, very aggressive. Made zero contact with the ball, was only looking at East as he was receiving it, who knocked it down the side. And as he mentioned, the frustrations of Scunthorpe starting to bubble over a little bit.
Free kick to Rochdale, around 15 yards inside the Scunthorpe half of the field, right on the touchline on this near side as Rochdale attack from left to right in this second half. Casey Petit comes across to take it. Rochdale still committing bodies forward here for these set pieces. This is going to go straight up towards the mixer from Petit. Jimmy McNulty almost standing on top of the ball as well as he just issues a few final instructions. The free kick in the end goes short. Petit and East link up, back out wide towards Petit it goes. This time he does whip it in towards the penalty area from the right. Chested down at the far post, however, not the best touch on this occasion from Desirue. Just evades him over a brilliant leaping header there from Hannon. Wins back the possession inside the Scunthorpe half of the field. They look to drill it over the halfway line. Like a salmon, he got his head on that ball. And now Rochdale come forward down the right once more. East finds Gordon. Options in the middle. Also has Adebayo rolling. Goes towards the byline. Finds the full-back. Can he shape across? Chips it across towards the far post. Barrows had to be alert there, didn't know who was behind him, takes no risks, puts it behind, corner kick to Rochdale, and they are pressing for this third.
Yeah, really good play down this right hand side. Adebayo rolling, staying onside, driving with the ball into the box before just dinking a delicious enticing ball into the area. Manny Desirue, I think, done a little bit too much running before it, wasn't in the right place, but it's cleared out by Scunthorpe, and another opportunity for Rochdale to get this ball in the box.
Corner to be taken from the left hand side. Options surround the 6-yard area as the referee keeps a close eye on things. It's a real crowded penalty area. Rochdale still committing bodies forward. In it comes from the left towards the back stick, easily dealt with in the end by Lewis Jones, who looks to get Scunthorpe United on the counter-attack as quick as possible. They do so as well. It breaks forward for Howe towards the edge of the penalty area. Good challenge comes in from Perry again to break up the play. They're back underway at Old Trafford in the second half as Rochdale come forward again. Gilmore out towards the left hand side. Rodney in towards the penalty area, brings it back on his right foot, shapes to curl it, couldn't manage to do so. Scunthorpe come away with it, shaping up to be an end-to-end game in this one. Out towards the left-hand side, Scunthorpe go with a long diagonal ball. It's a good one as well. Denton on the end of it. First time ball in, takes a deflection off Gordon. Will be a corner kick to Scunthorpe United, and this is where Rochdale really have to be alert to any danger.
Yeah. You can see Scunthorpe starting to get a little bit desperate. They're throwing balls forward and they're actually getting a little bit of joy from doing it. Cross-field ball, got Denton on the far side, able to try and put a cross in. Rochdale got to weather the little bit of storm that's coming at them now from Scunthorpe, but when they do get the ball down and start playing slick, you do feel like they're going to get something else.
Corner taken, in swinging from the left. Cluster of bodies go up at the near post. It's still not cleared. It bobbles around the 6-yard area. The shot eventually came in. It was hit straight at Watmuff, who managed to scramble it clear. Ball back in. There's a header. This time it's a little bit simpler for Watmuff, who picks it out the sky. Rochdale have the possession back. And an early goal in the second half at Old Trafford. Bill Rice.
Manchester United 2, Liverpool 1. Dominic Szoboszlai with a goal back for Liverpool. United gave the ball away on the halfway line, and Ahmad it was who's come on as a substitute, gifted it to Szoboszlai, who ran from the halfway line. 3 defenders backtracking. He turned onto his left foot and shot across Lommans into the corner to reduce the deficit. That after Brian Mbumo had been gifted an opportunity just seconds into the second half to increase United's lead. Instead, it's Manchester United 2, Liverpool 1.
So work to do for Manchester United still, maybe at Old Trafford. Not as much work to do here for Rochdale, we hope. 73 minutes on the clock. They lead Scunthorpe United by 2-0, and they look very good value for the lead as well. They have a free kick left in the penalty area. Watmouth, the goalkeeper, in bright pink, comes out to take on the left-hand side. He just ushers everybody up towards the halfway line. He's going to look to pump this one back in towards the Scunthorpe half of the field. Rodney and Desiree the targets. It's Rodney who gets his right thigh on the ball. Can't bring it under control though. Bit of head tennis goes on before Petit calmly chests it down, brings it under control and gets Rochdale back on the move again up the right hand side. East has it. Support from Adebayo rolling. Opts not to use him on this occasion. Instead comes back in field towards Gilmore as the Rochdale fans find their voice once again as it stands there, heading to Wembley next Sunday to meet Boreham Wood in the National League playoff final. Ball in towards the penalty area from Rochdale causes confusion at the back. Horton tried to angle it back towards his goalkeeper Jones, didn't get it right, and in the end nods it behind for a corner kick to Rochdale, and another chance here for them to put this one beyond all reasonable doubt.
Yeah, so disjointed, Scunthorpe are looping ball over towards the back post. You're expecting them to deal with it quite comfortably. Didn't know where his goalkeeper was, heads it out for a unnecessary corner, but they are still in this game with time to go. Rochdale need to make sure another goal and the next opportunity they take, and Scunthorpe will be dead and buried.
Rochdale still committed, everyone up towards the penalty area by the far post. It comes in, loops over the top of everyone though. Desiree can't get on the end of it. On the halfway line there was only Perry back defensively for Rochdale. Scunthorpe left Roberts forward. Rochdale look to move it up the right hand side. Gordon's ball down the touchline takes a deflection off Josh Rowley, so throw-in will go the way of Dale. East not in any real rush to retrieve the ball. In the end it's Adebayo rolling who gives it back to him. The referee just ensuring he takes it from the correct spot. It was interesting from that corner kick though. Rochdale still put everybody forward and left a one-on-one situation at the back, really trusting themselves going forward here, and they can make something happen down the left again. Rodney has it, options via Hannon and Perry on his left, finds Perry who takes it towards the penalty area, squares it across towards East, there's to shoot, he does shoot straight into the palms of Lewis Jones who chests it down, collects it at the second attempt, and now right-footed drills it up and over the halfway line, looking for Denton. And the G's around Scotland probably tell you that that went straight out of play for a Rochdale throw-in, and Scunthorpe United really just can't make anything happen. And we can see Ian Henderson and Joe Pritchard stripped and ready to come on. A double substitution from Jimmy McNulty as he looks just to manage this game out.
Yeah, important to bring on some fresh legs in this moment. Rochdale still got attacking intent, as you mentioned there before, from the corners, all the bodies that they had forward. Bringing on somebody with Ian Henderson's know-how, experience, could certainly put this game in the realms of possibility that Scunthorpe cannot get back into it. But it's important they still stick to task and continue to do what's brought them success in this game. That's be brave, play through the spaces, understand the weaknesses of Scunthorpe, and use Desiree as their reference point to play balls into him and get bodies around him.
So Luke Hannon and Devante Rodney off, Ian Henderson and Joe Pritchard on for the final 13 minutes of this one, as the referee Jamie O'Connor just comes across towards the dugout. He's having a word with the fourth official as well as the match manager. Both head coaches sort of very calmly either side. I'm not too sure if this is a communication issue for the referee, but there is a delay in play. So as we do have this delay in play, we heard Manchester United were pegged back at the start of the second half at Old Trafford. How have they responded, Bill Rice?
Not particularly well, it has to be said, Josh. It's Manchester United 2, Liverpool 1, but it's like the last 20 minutes of a cup tie this at the moment. The game is so stretched. Liverpool going forward looking for an equaliser. That's leaving huge gaps for United on the counter, but neither side can really get any sort of control or purchase. Lots of sloppy passing from both sides. Although Bruno Fernandes, what a bit of skill that is. Oh, so unlucky. The flag has now gone up for offside. It wouldn't have counted. It was a long ball over the top. Fernandes looked offside. He was, but he dragged it out of the sky with an incredible control and guided it into the path of Mbeumo, who with a back heel flick beat the keeper, but saw his effort come back off the post. So just like that, when I said there was no quality, a moment of unbelievable skill and technique from United, but it counts for nothing. Flags up for offside. Remains United 2, Liverpool 1.
Thank you, Bill. Keep you updated with everything that happens at Old Trafford. We're now back underway here at Spotland as Rochdale do look controlled as they lead 2-0 against Scunthorpe United for a place at Wembley in next week's National League playoff final. Still some work to do though. Scunthorpe go long over the top. Assistant referee puts his flag up, signals for offside, and again some more respite for the Rochdale defence. In no real rush to take this free kick either, Calvin Andrew. It has been impressive for all the good work they've done going forward, but just how they've kept Scunthorpe United at arm's length and controlled the game, and it looks as though they've got extra gears to find if they had to.
Yeah, Rochdale haven't really broken much of a sweat, if we're being completely honest, in the way in which they've defended Scunthorpe. Scunthorpe have been disjointed at the most, still playing a long ball, even though they don't have a reference point in Whitehall anymore to win the ball up the top, so they're just turning over possession. Then what Rochdale have done really well, other than this moment we've just seen, is when they do get the ball back, they take time in the way in which they're going to attack. They spread the pitch out, they make it difficult, they work Scunthorpe's legs to having to chase after them, so when they do get the ball, they haven't got the energy to put together passes and make lung-busting runs to get into their box. That's been the game plan and it's worked well so far.
Henderson collects a possession for Rochdale, plays it back towards Perry, who turns it all the way towards Watmouth on the byline. The Rochdale goalkeeper, left-footed, just fires it up and over the halfway line. It's going to stay in the field of play. It's a very good clearance because it's just stopped dead on the right-hand side of the field. It's forced Jones, a Scunthorpe keeper, to come out and collect. He plays it long down over the top. Could be a chance in behind. Howe on the end of it, puts it into the bottom corner. That is a goal out of absolutely nowhere for Scunthorpe United. Jones, the goalkeeper, fired it long over the top. Howe in behind, nips in front of the goalkeeper Watmouth, pokes it past him into the bottom corner, and Scunthorpe United are right back in this one. Rochdale 2, Scunthorpe 1.
Yeah, that's the disappointing thing that you always felt could happen with Rochdale. They're asking for calm now, but it was a long ball over the top. Rochdale tried to play offside. Ebanks Landell and the boys squeezed up the pitch. Then they allowed the ball to bounce. There was a bit of a disagreement in who should come for it, whether the keeper should or Ebanks Landell tried to get to the ball first. Neither of them did. Howe made the first contact and ended up trickling in the back of the net, and now there is a nervous energy around the Crown Oil from absolutely nowhere.
9 minutes left to play. Just watching that goal, it was like watching in slow motion, but another goal at Old Trafford. Bill Wright.
It's Manchester United 2, Liverpool 2, and it's an absolute howler from the United goalkeeper Senna Lomans, playing out from the back, passed it straight to McAllister on the edge of the penalty area, and in 3 passes Liverpool have moved it to Gakpo, who inside the box slots into an empty net. The United keeper looks at the heavens, knowing he's made an almighty clanger, and they have gifted Liverpool away back into this game with 2 second half goals. It's United 2, Liverpool 2.
So Manchester United have let a 2-goal lead slip. Rochdale hoping that they're not going to do the same. 8 minutes to play. Scunthorpe broke over the top again. It fell to Howe, right-footed, deflected behind, corner kick, and all of a sudden Rochdale are on the ropes in this one. Corner to be taken from the right-hand side. Roberts standing over it. Everyone in claret and white for Scunthorpe in the penalty area, but Tyler Denton, who lurks just on the edge. The referee having a word with those in the middle, keeping a close look, Jamie O'Connor, as he eventually signals the corner kick to be taken. Roberts left-footed, gives a signal with the right arm raised in the air. High it goes towards the far post again. Desiree back helping out defensively, just flicks it clear. Scunthorpe still in the possession. Scales high back towards the 18-yard box, lands with a drop of snow in it, but the offside flag goes up. Free kick to Rochdale, and now they will just take every opportunity to watch the seconds on the scoreboard tick by. We've seen late drama all so often involving Rochdale this season. Last week with that late leveller for York City, which condemned them to the playoffs. However, Rochdale have scored goals after 90 minutes in their previous 3 games. That incredible last-minute winner against Braintree to take it to the final day, and also one against Hartlepool as well. They'll be hoping for a late goal here to settle the nerves as Ian Henderson just collides with the defence. The referee awards a free kick to Scunthorpe United, and they're now in a real rush to get back underway with this one. 6.5 minutes to go, and you can just tell there's a bit of tension in the air. Both sides roaring their sides on, both out of desperation as Scunthorpe come forward again, left of the penalty area towards the byline, cut back, Watmuth collects, drops on the ball, clutches it to his chest. There's a belief about Scunthorpe United, the fans opposite us making their voices heard as Watmuth plays it up and over the halfway line. Calvin Andrew, I think there's still a goal in this game, either side.
I hate to say it, but I feel like you might be right. The tides have definitely turned in this game. Scunthorpe have got a new energy about themselves. They're getting things right, they're causing problems, they're asking questions of this Rochdale defence, which they haven't done for 80 minutes or so.
Henderson in the possession for Rochdale, using all of his experience. There was a chance maybe to break there, but he decided just to let his side keep hold of the possession. And now Perry across the halfway line. Desiree wins the header. Henderson's onside. He's into the penalty area. Can't get past the last defender, Burrows, who manages to scramble it clear. Looks as though Henderson was going to pull the trigger there to put Rochdale into the final, all but guaranteed. He couldn't do so, but his side still have the possession with Pritchard on the right. Wins a throw-in for his side. Half the chance there for Henderson, and I think even 10 years ago he probably finds the back of the net there.
There's no two ways about it there. If I'd have flicked him that ball 5 years ago, he'd get into that position. He probably would have waited for the keeper to make a decision and lobbed him or something like that. But unlucky in that position. He tried to draw the defender in and chop behind him. It was a trailing leg that nicked the ball away from him. But as you mentioned, the game still feels like it's got something else in it. It hangs in the balance. Scunthorpe with the bit between their teeth now feel like they can get something in the next 5 minutes of regular play. Rochdale have to continue to do what they've been doing for the majority of the game, and that's nullifying Scunthorpe by keeping the ball. You've seen in the last couple of minutes since conceding, they've got a little bit longer, and I think that plays into Scunthorpe's hands a little bit.
Ryan East has been replaced by Sam Beckwith for Rochdale, so they look like they've shifted to a back four for the closing stages of this one. We've got 4 minutes of regular time to play. We'll wait to see how long he's added on at the end of the game as it's launched up and over the halfway line from Rochdale. Scunthorpe return the favour deep into the Rochdale half of the pitch, but it's good defending there from Callum Perry just to shield the ball out of play for a Dale throw-in on the far side, midway in their own half of the pitch, but they're just trying to eat up every second that they are able to. Jimmy McNulty is just in discussion with the fourth official, Isaac Sale. Andy Butler, the Scunthorpe United boss, also makes his way across, just maybe to have an earwig as to what the discussion is about. But Scunthorpe have the possession with Denton. Heads it forward, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Pritchard is adjudged just served bundled, beasting down to the ground, so free kick to Scunthorpe, and now everybody again makes their way up towards the edge of the penalty area. 2-1 Rochdale lead. It really didn't have to be this nervy, but it certainly is, and could cut the atmosphere inside the Crown Oil Arena. As we await this free kick to be taken, it is going to be Roberts, the former Newcastle United man, to launch it up towards the 18-yard box. Desiree there again, heads it back across his own penalty area. Not the best direction on that one, but eventually the goalkeeper, Ollie Watmuth, comes and collects. Good assured goalkeeping from him. The clearance was scuffed high from Gordon off the right boot. Watmouth drops on it. He looks to get his side back on the front foot. Denton does really well on the volley defensively. Ball landed on the edge of the 18-yard box. He plays it forward and he gets Scunthorpe back on the front foot once more. Horton into the penalty area. There's the cross. Can they find the finish? They can't. Gilmore this time scrambles clear. Hits the head of Rowley on its way up towards the halfway line. A real scramble. Rowley manages to collect. Out towards the left. Ball into the middle. Deflects off Petit. He's left on the ground. Manages to get back to his feet. Westbrook has it for Scunthorpe. Rowley again, back to Westbrook. Curls one in towards the penalty area. Lands at the near post. Headed clear by Ebanks Landell. Offside flag eventually goes up. And again, Rochdale will take every opportunity just to get some air into the lungs, because it's going to take a huge effort in the final 2 minutes of this one, plus any additional time to cling on to this 2-1 advantage.
Yeah, as you mentioned, this game has got all the more uncomfortable towards the back end, and it felt like it really shouldn't have been. Rochdale were well in control of this game. You see Scunthorpe throwing on some bigger players to come and play in higher positions to try and cause some problems in the last couple of minutes of this game.
Yep, Andrew Boyce, the centre-back, has come onto the pitch, but he hasn't occupied that position. He's going to play as a striker for the final couple of minutes of this one, as the free kick to Rochdale wasn't the best from Watmouth. Can't keep it on the field of play. Runs over the touchline on this near side. Jimmy McNulty again still looks calm on the touchline. Hands in pockets. Cap on. This time it's Scunthorpe's clearance, which isn't the best. Goes out of play. Throw in to Dale. Gordon comes across to take it.
Yeah, Boyce, they've just brought on towering above most of the Rochdale players. He will be their target. Rochdale don't want to give too much possession up, because the ball will be launched long to him and then it'll be over to someone to try and win the first contact. But at the moment, just trying to run the clock out. Rochdale made this game very uncomfortable, as you mentioned.
Rochdale with the throw-in on the halfway line, goes all the way down to the corner flag. Desiree chests it down. There's only one direction on his mind, and it is just to trap it in this area of the pitch. He looks to try flick it off the Scunthorpe defence to win a corner. It doesn't come off though. Scunthorpe can clear. Diagonal ball up towards the halfway line. Perry for Rochdale wins the header into the path of Henderson, who just touched it down. Plays the 1-2. Perry's left in a heap on the ground. Challenge comes in from the Scunthorpe United winger Kean Scales. Free kick goes away of Rochdale, and again Rochdale just run down the clock. Clumsy challenge that, because Rochdale didn't really seem to be going anywhere, but they've got a free kick on the halfway line. We've had the 90 minutes of additional time. We'll try and find out how long has been added on. They're not announcing it inside the stadium in an effort to try and keep supporters off the field of play. Free kick taken by Rochdale. Diagonal across towards Desirue. Bounces in front of him. He lets it run across his body and out for a throw-in to Scunthorpe United, which is taken quickly towards the goalkeeper. The throw-in comes and Jones launched it long across the halfway line. Boyce, the centre-back, acting as a striker, wins the header, flicks it on, however bundles Ebanks Landell to the ground in the process. He looked in a bit of discomfort as well. Referee waves the medical staff on. They're just a bit reluctant to come onto the field of play. Jim McNulty says he doesn't want them to, purely because he doesn't want his captain, his centre-back, to come onto the field. The Rochdale players are saying no, stay off as well. The referee just watches Ebanks Landell get up to his feet, but he's still saying he's going to have to go off the field of play here. But the medical staff didn't come on. I'm not too sure what the ruling is here. The referee asked the physio to come onto the field of play. They didn't. Do you know better than I do, Calvin Andrew?
No, I do not. That was a strange one. I think the referee made his decision that he wanted the medical team to come on, and that didn't matter. Once they didn't come on, or if they were going to, he wants Ebanks Landell to go off onto the side anyway for a head injury, to maybe receive some kind of treatment. He's not going to. He's ready to get himself back on the pitch as quickly as possible. Very interesting time towards the back end of this game. Rochdale trying to see it out. Long ball to Desirue to keep hold of.
Yeah, Rochdale have the possession. We've played 2 minutes of additional time. Again, they've not announced the amount of minutes that will be added on at the end of this one. But Scunthorpe have the possession. Down the left-hand side they go. Ebanks-Landell is off the field still, so Rochdale are still down to 10. The referee still hasn't waved him back on. He's furious on the touchline. Scunthorpe come up the right-hand side towards the edge of the penalty area. They go for the byline. More brilliant defending from Perry, who wins the goal kick for his side. Ebanks-Landell is back on the field. But now Rochdale fans around Scotland are starting to believe that they can see the Wembley arch appear in the distance. We've had 3 minutes of additional time played. How are your nerves, Calvin Andrew?
I actually have slightly got a little bit nervous as this game has gone on. I was saying to Saul Stacey at the top of the game that nerves don't come into it, but Rochdale have made this difficult, allowing Scunthorpe to get a goal from absolutely nowhere and then beginning to play a little bit frantically. It's about being calm and collected in these moments. You've got yourself in this point because of the no fear football you've played, and you have to continue to do the same thing.
There's the long ball from Scunthorpe towards the edge of the penalty area. He's rather easily dealt with from a Rochdale point of view. I'm looking at the Rochdale media team next to me who don't know how long's been added on either. Apparently, according to the TV broadcasters here, that number is 6, but Rochdale have the possession. Over the halfway line, Desirue goes, gets past one, bundled to the ground. Fierce challenge comes in from Will Evans, gets it badly wrong, leaves the Rochdale number 9 in a heap. Free kick to Dale as the seconds tick down. Brilliant centre forward play there from Manny Desirue.
Fantastic. Three bodies around him. Managed to get his body in to shield the midfielder from being able to nick it off him, and then it was over to him and the very last defender, Mr. Will Evans, waited for him to get close enough to make a challenge and then shifted the ball past him, took the contact, wins his team a free kick at the halfway line after 94 minutes. Great from Desirue.
Yeah, 94 and a half minutes. I'm counting the halves now, Calvin Andrew. That's the type of